Welcome back. In the previous video, we talked about the importance of goals when talking about focus. Now, focus is a skill. And when I say skill, I say visualization. You gotta visualize yourself being able to focus, because when you visualize yourself, you start getting used to this, don't you? When you visualize yourself, you're activating your occipital lobe, and this is telling your hippocampus, I'm the guy who can focus. And you gotta, after visualization, you gotta try and pretend to have that skill of focus. So just act as if you were focused. Even if your brain is thinking about 100,000 times, just pretend you're an actor and the camera is shooting you, and you gotta pretend to be like 100% focused. You can even push this to the point of having a real camera, that of your phone, and filming yourself studying or working, and pretend to be doing it 100% focused. Then you just take that video and you watch it. And what happens is your brain believes what it sees. It doesn't care about the words, and it doesn't care if this image is real or not. I mean, have you ever watched a horror movie and got scared for real? Or have you watched already another kind of movies that is supposed to get you aroused, and you got aroused? Because for your brain, what it sees is real. It doesn't know that it is TV and that is fake. It doesn't know that you are faking it and that you're not really focused. What it sees is, it sees a video, you are on it, and you appear to be focused. So it must be true. And this way, your visual brain and your motor brain are bombarding your hippocampus, and obviously you're gonna bombard your hippocampus with repetition. I cannot repeat it enough. Repetition, 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 and put in the emotion. You know, when I say repetition, you must at the end of this course, when you hear the word repetition, you hear the word emotion. I'm printing that in you. I am repeating it on purpose. So when you hear repetition, you say, I hope you said emotion, and I hope you said it with emotion in your tone. So you're going to imprint this skill into you. One way, among other ways, is every night before falling asleep. Well, because if you've watched videos on creativity, you know the value of sleep, how much sleep is the time where synapses are built and broken, where the brain is actually rewired. This course is about how to rewire your brain. Your brain is being rewired during your sleep, so it's a good idea to give your hippocampus those messages right before sleeping. But if you can't afford to do it before sleeping, don't worry, do it anytime. When you sleep, your brain will actually go about and fetch anything that you've been exposed to during your day. But the things you've been exposed to right before sleeping, like your brain is gonna give them more importance when you're asleep. So every night before sleeping, you imagine yourself studying or working with full focus for hours straight. Now, when you are visualizing, you can be a little bit exaggerate. I mean, if your daily goal is to be able to focus for 30 minutes, it could be 30 minutes, it could be 3 hours, depending on how trained you are in this art of focus. But let's say your daily goal is to be able to focus for 30 minutes. Well, in your imagination, imagine yourself being able to focus, I don't know, for 10 hours or something crazy. Be realistic with your daily goals so that you reach them and you get that dopamine. But with your visualization, be crazy. In your imagination, be crazy. And the reason for that is to create a big contradiction in your hippocampus, and your brain hates contradictions. So when your brain sees you not being able to focus for 30 minutes, and at the same time it sees you focusing for 10 hours, because your brain doesn't make the difference between what you imagine and what you do for real. So it's having an input from daily real life that you can't focus for more than 30 minutes. Then it has an input from what you imagine, but for it's real, that you can focus for 10 hours. It's going to be like, what on earth? and it's gonna be like, I gotta adapt. I gotta make reality fetch what I am visualizing. So these 30 minutes will appear ridiculous, and your brain will start making you able to focus for 60 minutes, then 120 minutes, and so on until you reach that 10 hours. So you're trying to kind of stress our brain up and give it a little bit of contradiction. When I say stress it, you know that I say stress it in a good way. So give it some positive stress, some contradiction, so it tries to fight that contradiction, and this makes it grow. So imagine you're able to focus for hours straight. Imagine some stuff specific, some specific behaviors. You cannot imagine focus like imagining focus is too abstract. You must imagine some real situations in which you display the skill of focus. Like, for example, the phone rings and you don't answer. Like there is a notification, your phone rings, there is a notification for social media and you don't care about it. By the way, cut off notifications, but just assume that actually we need to imagine focus. So we imagine there are notifications and we do not care. Imagine after a study session, you're capable of summarizing everything you studied. It's another way to give something concrete to imagine to your brain, and that symbolizes focus. So what greater symbol of having been able to focus than to be able to summarize what you have been reading? Like if you were not focused, you wouldn't be able to summarize it. So it's an indirect way to give your brain an image to stick to. Repeat this process for 21 nights or 20 nights or 18 nights or 100 nights or your entire life, and you will not recognize your study skills, your focus skills, your working skills. It's just amazing. You gotta try it for yourself. So every night you visualize yourself with the skill you want, that is the skill of focus. Find some ways to symbolize that skill in something that your brain can imagine. Or maybe you could go for the Pomodoro if you are really after real tomatoes and giving yourself tomatoes when you focus for a certain amount of time. Then imagine having earned a lot of tomatoes. Imagine touching the tomatoes, feeling the tomatoes, is just to give something for your brain to chew, something that your brain can feel and see. And that would end our video about the skill of focus. See you in the next video.